Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Domi Station Facebook page and YouTube. And today I have a special guest with us. We have Dr. Lydia Hanks. She is representing the Dedman School of Hospitality at FSU. Hi, Lydia. How are you doing today?
Hi, Chrissy. Wonderful. Thank you. How are you?
Not too bad. The weather is so strange this week. We're getting into hurricane season, so everyone's up for a ride, right?
I know, it's crazy. Sunny and then raining all day long.
Yes, yes. And today we're talking about a very interesting topic, especially during this time of COVID-19. You're providing us with information about online tools for brick and mortar businesses, which is something that I feel is very necessary for people who are in business. And so some things that you'll be discussing with us is why it's important to have an online presence. And so I'll go ahead and bring up your presentation right now, and we will make sure that we pause for certain times during this presentation to answer your questions and get your feedback on certain comments that you provide to us. So make sure that you engage with us throughout today's broadcast. Okay, Lydia, go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Chrissy. Well, first of all, I want to say that this originally came to us through some government requests, some small restaurant owners who did not have an online presence because they had such a steady stream of loyal customers in their brick and mortar businesses, then realized when the restaurants were closed that they perhaps needed a website with some information, their menu, and a way for people to contact them so that they could continue servicing those same customers through carry-out or delivery orders. So that was the genesis of this presentation. But I want to point out that this is very relevant to businesses that are not restaurants. So if you have a small retail business or a service business and you have been used to simply conducting business in person with your clients and have never needed an online presence, then this possibly could be very helpful for you. I do want to clarify that what we're going to talk about today is primarily for business owners who do not have a website, a Facebook, and Instagram. If you already have those things, and you are looking to integrate an online payment system or an online ordering system, that is a different webinar. So I know that Domi Station has people who are experts in that, and they definitely could provide some expertise on that. But for me today, we are addressing businesses who have never had a website and Instagram and Facebook before and want an easy, inexpensive, and fast way to get those online presences so that they can service their customers in different ways. As we look toward the future of what this might bring, business is going to look very different. We don't know when things are going to be open, closed, they may reclose, they may reopen. So staying flexible is really important, and an online presence is part of that. Okay, let's go to the next slide, Chrissy. All right, so yeah. Perfect. What we're going to learn in this webinar, thanks, Chrissy, is how to make a website quickly, inexpensively, and if you have no technological expertise. We're also going to learn how to create a Facebook page for your business and how to create an Instagram account for your business. So I'm going to guide you through that. Go ahead. All right, so what we're going to focus on here is, as I said, this is a restaurant context, but works just as well for retail or services. A website where people can see what you offer, your different services, your products, or your food, and something that will allow them to call you and place an order. Now, there are lots of ways to place orders online, but if you're just starting with an online presence, it's probably easiest for you to just have a way for them to contact you and place the order directly with you. All right, and as I said, the keywords here are fast, easy, and inexpensive. Not going to need a lot of technology experience, and it isn't going to cost you very much money. Go ahead. So there are lots of website builders out there. You do not need any kind of programming expertise. There are lots of companies that can help you. I've chosen for today's purposes to talk about Wix. Wix is a company that will help you build a website. And the reason that I chose this over many of the others that are available is simply because there is absolutely no experience needed. I know that a lot of people who start businesses, they're experts in the product or the service that they're providing, but they're not necessarily experts on how to build a website. So I love Wix because it is for the absolute beginner and it's very, very easy. They also have a lot of restaurant templates, but they also have templates for an online store, for services. They have a template for any kind of business. So I love that too, because no matter what your business is, you can go there quickly, look through the templates and say, oh, this seems really similar to the business that I have. I think I'm going to use this template, and then you can customize it. It's completely customizable. You can change the pictures on it. You can change all the words, the fonts, the colors, so you can make it match your branding. And I love Wix because it's very inexpensive. And I think for people who are just getting started, that's a great factor. All right, so as I said, what we're going to talk about today is enabling a website so that your customers can call you and place an order. Now, this is where we're starting today because there's no website integration. And what that means is that there's no technology involved as there would be with an online ordering and online payment system. In that case, you need to coordinate your point of sale service that you have at your business with the payment system, with the website, and that can easily be done, and you can do it on Wix, but it's a little bit more involved. So today what we're going to talk about is fast and easy, putting up a website, advertising your products, and having a phone number so that your customers can contact you. All right. All right. So as I said, we're going to talk about call-in orders today. If you feel ready to handle online ordering, the videos that we're going to talk about will explain to you how to do so. And there are tons of websites on the Wix support website as well.
And I want to take this opportunity to let people know if you're interested in having any questions or if you have any comments for Lydia during this presentation, feel free to ask those questions. We'll make sure that we get those questions to Lydia to answer for you as well too, because I know there will likely be some questions concerning this presentation and how to, because people, like you had mentioned, Lydia, a lot of people, they know their business, but they don't necessarily know the technology behind it. I, for one, am definitely one of those people who was like, okay, I'm going to focus on my business. I'm going to do my thing. And then everything else, I'm just going to have other people do for me. And then I realized, oh, wait a second, I need these things integrated now. I don't have the money to do it. I need to learn these things right away. Do you find that often among business owners?
I do, actually. And, I think it's really common with small family-owned businesses. They are such experts in what they're doing. And it might be in the food that they cook or in the services that they provide or what they're selling. And they're experts in those things. And they've gotten some experience in running a business. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they have a technology background. And I think it can be really daunting for small business owners to think about integrating technology. Building a website sounds so difficult, Chrissy, and it really isn't. That's what I want to demonstrate here today is that this is something anyone can do. You can do it over the weekend. It's so easy. And it's becoming so much more important right now where we're not sure to what extent brick and mortar businesses will be open for business.
So the time is now to commit to, especially since some people may have a little bit more time to have an online presence, even if it's just a quick one-page online for you, just to have your presence there.
Absolutely. And for many people, that can get the job done. So let's get started about how you would actually do this. All right. So if you're building a website and you're facilitating call-in orders or call-in appointments or call-in orders for your menu or for whatever you're selling, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need, if you're a restaurant, a copy of your menu. Or if you are a retail business, you're going to need pictures of a sampling of the things that you offer. If you're a service business, you're going to need some sort of menu of services that you provide. So basically something to show the customer, this is what we do here. These are your choices. You're going to need a phone number prominently displayed, and you're going to need some great photos. So I'll go back to the restaurant example here, but if you're going to have a restaurant website, you need some delicious photos of food. Now that can be either of your own food and restaurant, or you can choose stock photos from the internet. And I think that's a really neat thing to do because those are professionally done photos. They look amazing. And there's a couple of places where you can get those for free, stock photos of food that you don't have to pay for. People have put them in the public domain for anyone to use. So I've listed a few here: Pexels, Pixabay, and Unsplash.
Yeah, those are some great tools as well, too. And also something, because you want to make sure that your pictures do justice, because that for me, I'm the type of person where I'm a visual person, and if I see like a picture that's not very appetizing food for me, I'm likely not going to, order from there. So that's a big deal.
Well, it is. And, people think it's an easy matter of just taking a picture of the food on the table, but actually food photography is a whole separate industry. So there's a lot that goes into taking pictures of food. And sometimes it's just faster and easier for you to find some pictures on the website that represent what you do.
And I know that the links are a little bit hard to see here, but I'll make sure that we put these links in the comments for people. That way they can just simply click on them.
Okay, wonderful. I think that would be really helpful. Thanks, Chrissy. All right, so let's talk about how to start your Wix website. There are 2 fantastic tutorials from Greg Gottfried that do such a good job that there's no way I could ever explain it to you better. He's absolutely amazing. He is specific to building websites for restaurants, but most of what he says and how he shows you the way that Wix works applies to any business. So you could watch these tutorials even if you're not a restaurant and simply choose a different template. So Greg has a tutorial that's 12 minutes that explains in 12 minutes how to build a basic Wix website. If you're the kind of person that you feel really comfortable, you're like, oh yeah, I just need some basic instructions and then I want to play around with it myself, this is probably the video for you. He also has a much longer, more detailed video that lasts 48 minutes, and it literally takes you through every click that you will need to make, starting from let's go to wix.com. And then he takes you through every single thing: how to put your pictures in, how to put your menu up there, how to make a contact us page. It is an absolutely amazing resource. And as I said, even if you're not a restaurateur, the part where he teaches you how to use Wix is amazing. So I would highly recommend watching these 2 tutorials and going from there. If you watch the longer one, you'll have a website built by the end of it. Also, and I'll talk about this on the next slide, but if you are going to purchase a domain name, then you will need to upgrade to one of the premium plans with Wix. And Greg goes through that at the end of his video. So that brings up a good question, Chrissy. Should I buy a domain name? Well, my general answer, if you have an established business, is yes, probably so. If you don't, your URL is going to look like username.wixsite.com/ and the name of your business, in this case, City Diner. That's okay, but it's probably not something you can use for marketing and advertising very well, and it's not something that people will remember. So I think it's a great idea to go ahead and buy the domain name, because then it looks like this: citydiner.com. Easy for everyone to remember, and they know if they feel like eating at City Diner tonight, they just type that in. Everyone's going to remember that. So I do think it's worth a little bit of extra money to buy the domain name, and you can buy your domain name right through Wix. So it's all integrated there. You don't have to go figure out a whole nother website or a whole nother technology. It's right in the Wix program.
And I think that's really cool that they do that and provide that, because, there's so many different options out there. Most people would probably go to like GoDaddy or something. And then also, if you purchase from a different a domain, a different, beyond Wix, you do have to pay a little extra for that as well too. So
you do. And, you know, in my mind, it's just one more thing that you have to keep track of, one more account that you have, one more password that you have to remember. And then you can buy a domain name at GoDaddy and integrate it with Wix. Then you have to follow the directions on how to do that. I love Wix. It's like walking an 8-year-old through how to make a website. And the first time that I used it, that's exactly what it was. I had never done anything before like this, Chrissy, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I was just stunned at how easy it was. So I know I sound like a commercial for Wix. I promise I don't work for them, but I've just had such great experiences with it as a novice. And I think that's where most people are right now.
Absolutely. And now you're going to walk us through how to get a domain name, because one thing that if you don't get a domain name, it could be already taken. And that would not be a good thing for a business who's already established.
Exactly. Now, there's some things that you can do about that. So how to buy a domain name through Wix. First, you're going to follow Greg's directions, and you're going to build your site. And at the end of that, you're going to have a chance to upgrade to a premium plan. Now, you don't have to. The basic plan with Wix is totally free. But as we talked about, if you want your own domain name, you want to upgrade to the premium plan. Then you'll go to your site dashboard and click Connect a Domain. And then right there, it'll say, do you want to buy a new domain? And you say, why, yes. Yes, I do. That sounds like a great idea. So then, as you said, we come to searching for a domain. Hopefully, yourbusinessname.com isn't taken. But if it is, there are some things you can do to find a domain name that isn't taken. For example, if citydiner.com was taken, you could always try something like City Diner Tallahassee, or you could try Tallahassee City Diner, or you could try eatatsitydiner.com. So there are some ways that you can still incorporate that, even if someone has already taken your domain name, just to make yours a little bit unique so that you can have a website that everyone recognizes. So you'll pick the domain name, then you'll pick a registration period, how long you'd like to own that domain name for, and you can always renew that. And then you choose your private domain registration, and it's all done. And Wix will automatically connect it to you.
Seems pretty simple.
Oh, it really is. They make it very easy. All right. So if you followed Greg's tutorials and you bought a domain name, by the end of that, you should have a basic website. Now, you may want to continue to tweak it, add better pictures, change the font, decide you don't like the color, and you can keep doing that forever. That's another nice thing about Wix. You don't need a webmaster. You don't have to hire anyone to make changes for you. If you decide you want to make a change or replace a picture, you just go right in, click it, delete it, put the new one in, just like you did the first time. So you can make endless changes yourself. So
I think,
yeah, it's really fun. I've played around with it a lot. So now that you have a website, it has pictures of your product and it has a phone number so that your customers can contact you. You're all set up for call-in orders. Now, as I said, you can look at online ordering too, and that's sort of phase 2 of this. But this is now your basic website where someone can look at what you have, call you, and place an order, and then come pick it up, or you can deliver it. So that's what we were after for companies that didn't have a web presence in the first place.
And we've got a comment here from Hannah. She's crying with laughter just to make sure that, you know, I'm sure as business owners, we want to make sure that our domain names are not taken. I know that's like the number one thing for businesses. And once they find out someone else has my name, no, that's not good, because you want to be original. You want to be your own entity. And so, you know, it's a big world out there. There's a lot of fish in the pond.
It is. That's true. That's true. All right. So
but
now
you
have a web.
I like how you offer the workarounds for that. It makes it seem like it's not that traumatizing for businesses once they find out.
No, it isn't. And you know, the thing is, there are so many businesses out there. The chance of your original first choice being taken, especially if you have something, you know, City Diner. Okay, I promise you that's already taken. But there are so many other ways to incorporate your name and to, you know, put the word out there. So yeah, that's not something that should scare you. Just keep trying different combinations and you will definitely find one. So now you have your website, you have your domain name. How do we let your customers know about this? Now, if you haven't had a website for your business before, that means that you had the customers coming to you. They knew you, they knew where you were, they come by and they buy your services or products, right? So maybe you're a tiny restaurant that just has a super loyal following, or maybe you're a person who sells your products at festivals and fairs or at Railroad Square on First Fridays. So you've always had a way to distribute your product without a website. Now you have a website. How do we let people know that that's where they should go to order since they can't come to your brick and mortar business perhaps? Well, there's many ways to do this. Of course, there's 1,000 ways to advertise, but 2 that are free and that are pretty ubiquitous and easy to do are Facebook and Instagram. So the next thing we're going to talk about, Chrissy, is how do you create a Facebook page for your small business? In this case, your restaurant or whatever your small business is. So let's go on to the next slide and we'll talk a little bit about how you can do that. So first thing I suggest, how to create a Facebook business page, watch this tutorial. It's amazing. I could not do it any better myself. So let's put that link in the comments, if you will, and it will, again, walk you right through it. I mean, by the time you finish watching this tutorial, you'll have a Facebook business page. So that's fantastic. Also to note, you can also put amazing pictures and a lot of them on your Facebook business page. So remember all of those pictures that you collected for your website of this amazing food or of your products? Hang on to those because you're going to want to put them in your Facebook business page as well. That's another great place for people to look through and find out everything you have to offer. Whenever you do make a post to this page, one thing you want to be sure to remember is to drive people to your website that you just built. That's the point. We want to make sure that if they somehow find you on Facebook, then they are going to your website, looking at your full suite of services or products, and then calling you to place an order. The ultimate objective is call you and place an order. So remember with your Facebook posts that you're always driving travel. What am I trying to say? That you're always driving traffic to your website. All right, the second thing you probably need is an Instagram account. And you know, Chrissy, I want to talk about the advantages to these. First of all, there's a lot of organic advantage, right? If you have a large social network here in Tallahassee, you can leverage that through Facebook and through Instagram, sending out these posts to people that you know and having them share them. Also, later on down the line, if you choose to do some paid advertising, both Facebook and Instagram allow you to pretty narrowly target who is seeing your advertising. That's one thing I really love about Facebook and Instagram is if you have a specific target market in a specific location and you say, I want to get in front of these people and I'm willing to pay a little bit to do that, you can do that with Facebook and Instagram and your ads will get exactly to the right people. So that's why I've chosen these two, plus everyone has them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a great way to get shared by your friends too. So let's talk about Instagram account. Again, here's a new video on how to create an Instagram account. If you have never created an Instagram, it's really easy, really, really easy. Watch that tutorial. You'll have an Instagram account in 15 minutes. Now, here's a question, because there are personal Instagram accounts and there are business Instagram accounts. So your question might be, well, I'm a business. Do I need a business account? And my answer to you is not really at this time. You are just trying to send traffic to your website, right? That's your only objective right now. You're not becoming a super famous Instagram person who's going to sell things on Instagram. What you're doing with Instagram is putting pictures in front of people and trying to send them to your website so they can call you and place an order, or so they can see the full range of services and products. So there are a lot of analytical advantages to having an Instagram business account, but really at this point, you probably don't need that. A personal account will be just fine, and it's easier to manage. All right, when you're filling out your profile for Instagram, be sure to put your website URL in your profile. You won't be able to put it in your comments, but you can put it in your profile. So whenever you make an Instagram post, you will add to whatever you're saying, like, hey, check out our pizza special this week. It's basil and roasted red peppers. And then you're going to add link in bio to your caption. This will direct people from Instagram to your website. And here's an example on the next page, Chrissy. Oh, also, yeah, before we get to the example, you also, yeah, important, hashtags, really important. I think people wonder, what are hashtags? Are they just jokes? Is it comments? Hashtags actually serve a really important purpose. When you make your Instagram account, putting a hashtag on it allows other people who maybe don't know you and weren't following your Instagram to find that post. Here's a couple of hashtags that you should add if you're a restaurant in Tallahassee, but there are many others if you're something besides a restaurant. But if you are a restaurant, things like Tallahassee Foodies, Rally for Tally, Tallahassee Food, and Tallahassee Eats. These are hashtags that people follow, regular customers, because they want to see what restaurants are out there, what looks good. I want to look at pictures of food. And if you hashtagged your post, they'll be able to see your post while they're scrolling through, even if they've never heard of you and they don't follow you on Instagram. So hashtags are really important for wider exposure.
Yeah, especially on Instagram, because that's where a lot of the hashtags come into play.
Right.
And you can click on them and it'll take you directly to that location.
Yes, really important to get in front of new customers. All right, so here's a little example of what your post might be. So here's a picture you could post of tacos, and then you add a little comment, whatever you'd like to say. This week's special is tacos, or would you want some tacos? Call us and order some tacos. Website link in bio. So then if they want to go look at your whole website, they're going to go to your bio that's in Instagram connected to this post, and they're going to find your website and click on it. And then afterwards, you see all the hashtags right there. So that's what a post should look like when you're using hashtags. I just wanted to give an example for people who aren't familiar with using Instagram and posting things. All right, so you now have a website, an online menu or online pictures of your products or services, a Facebook account for your business, and an Instagram account. That is a great start. And if I were to say, if you were, oh, let's see, Chrissy, let's say you are a brand new novice, you've never done any of this before. If you watch those tutorials that I showed you, I think that you could create a website, a Facebook, and an Instagram completely in one weekend with no problem. So it is really something like we were talking about earlier. When you realize I need this now, this is a very now kind of thing. There are great resources out there. The Wix website resource page is amazing as well. But I just loved these tutorials because they all approach it from a very beginner point of view. And if you want to do that this weekend, you can be all set up by Monday.
I think that's really encouraging for people who are watching right now, because it does seem like it's another task or some major thing that you've got to dedicate a week or two to, and you just don't have that time because you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur. And hearing from you that this can be done easily in a weekend, not even, then that, I think that's reassuring for a lot of people who are watching.
Well, thank you. I think so too. And, you know, as you said, we don't want business owners having to learn programming and having to, you know, figure out how to run the back end code of a website. We want business owners focusing on their business, creating these amazing products and services that people want to buy. So it's great if we can streamline these processes so that it doesn't take too much time away from their primary purpose. All right, so let me just talk a minute about online ordering and online payments. Go ahead, next slide. All right, so questions. What if I want to have online ordering and online payments? So what we've talked about so far is you have a website, it has your phone number, people can call you and order your products or services. But what if you want them to be able to order online and just place the order online, have the order be fulfilled, pay you online? You can absolutely do this with Wix. So that's another reason I really like Wix, is it can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. Now, because these kinds of functions require more technological expertise, And they require integrations with your point of sale system, meaning your cash register, whatever kind of computer system you're using at your brick and mortar business to take money, and system interfaces with your payment system. They are beyond the scope of this webinar. However, you can do all of this with Wix. If you go to the help function in Wix, you will find detailed instructions on all of these issues. And you remember Greg, the first 2 tutorials that I suggested, he has some other things. There are many things on YouTube that can help you do this too. So I would say if you're very beginning at this, maybe try the website with a phone number first, and then spend a little more time going from there and integrating online payment and online ordering if you think that's something that will be helpful to you in the future. Not everyone needs that, but some people would like it. So Chrissy, I think that's all that I really wanted to talk about today, but I would love to take any questions if there's anyone here that has a specific question about their business or about anything that I said.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool that we were able to talk about this, because I think a lot of people right now wish that they had these tools in place before we unfortunately have been experiencing something that's unprecedented. But it's not too late, right?
No, absolutely not. It's never too late. And, you know, the other thing is that things are just so fluid right now. You know, like, so for a while we were all closed, and now some things are reopening. We don't know what the future will bring. It might bring more closures. We might reopen in a different way. So, you know, this is a great time. Like you said, it's not too late. Let's go ahead and get this done, because it can do nothing but help you. I mean, having more exposure is nothing but good for your business.
And it's good that you just said that it can't do anything to harm you, because I think a lot of people are scared to do it because they think, well, what if it doesn't look that good? What if it hurts my credibility? What would you say to that?
Oh, I would say that is not even a worry that you should have. Not at all. You can stop worrying about that. The templates on Wix are extremely professional. There are so many to choose from. So if you use one of the templates, your website will look great. And as I said, it shouldn't hurt your credibility. It should enhance it, because they're totally customizable. So if you do have a strong brand at your brick and mortar business, and you have colors and you have a style and you have, you know, your own kind of credibility with your customers, in 5 minutes, you can make changes to your website to reflect exactly that. And the same with the pictures. I mean, if you don't feel that you have the photography skills to take pictures of your own things, then you can just find so many pictures online that will look extremely professional. You know, a picture of a pizza or a picture of a taco, it doesn't necessarily have to be your pizza or your taco. It has to tell people, we have delicious food here. Don't you want a pizza? So, you know, I would really never worry about that. If you create a professional looking website, it can only enhance the credibility of your business. And it's really helpful for spreading the brand. You know, it can reach a lot more people than you can reach in person.
I think some people may be asking, what does this look like for my budget? How much money am I going to need up front to make this happen?
Okay, well, I can answer that. So at the low end, you can make this happen for $0. And that's amazing. So that would mean that you use the free Wix, which, as we talked about with the domain name, will then give you a domain name that says Wix in it. So you won't get your specific domain name. But if that's not important to you, you can create a free website with Wix. You can create an Instagram for free. You can create a Facebook for free. You can get free pictures off the internet at those websites that I suggested. So you could accomplish all of this for $0. If you upgrade to the premium plan and buy your domain name, you're going to pay a little bit to Wix for the hosting services and a little bit to Wix for the domain name. I think, and you know, I don't know exactly, but I think the total of that is going to be around $300 a year. And then you can upgrade from there. I mean, the more bells and whistles you want to, if you want to integrate online ordering and integrate payment systems and things like that, then you can scale that up. But, you know, for the purposes of what we talked about today, we're looking at between $0 and $300 a year, which is an amazing investment in your business.
And you can also choose to pay monthly too. So, I mean, yes, that even makes it $300 over a course of a year. By a month-to-month basis, you know, that's
absolutely. And that's great for right now, because I think a lot of businesses are experiencing cash flow interruptions because of what's been happening. So the ability to pay by month is great too.
And yeah, you mentioned cash flow because people have lost a lot of foot traffic. I think, a lot of states are just reopening. And obviously there's certain standards that businesses need to put money into that to make sure everyone stays safe and healthy. So why would this be beneficial for people who are experiencing less foot traffic?
Well, I think that it's the idea of reaching more people who don't actually have to be with you. The disruption that we've seen is that people can't come to your business, and like I said, businesses are starting to reopen, but we don't know what the future will bring. We don't exactly know what's going to happen in the future. So the benefit is you can now sell to a customer who isn't in front of you. So before, when you had a brick and mortar business with no online presence, your total number of potential customers was the number of people who walked through your door. That's all the people you could sell to. But with an online presence, Facebook, Instagram, a website, you are now reaching all kinds of people that may never have stumbled across your business. They may never have walked through your doors, but now you have a connection with them. You're communicating with them and making them into new customers. So it has a great potential to expand your revenue as well.
Yeah, and I think also it kind of bulletproofs your business as well too, as far as sustainability wise.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, as we said, we never know what the future is going to bring. So having a revenue stream from online and having a revenue stream from your brick and mortar business provides a little bit of safety for you so that if one revenue stream goes away for a while, you have the other one to fall back on.
Okay, so I've got my checklist here. Make sure you have your phone number, you have good pictures. I can dedicate a day or two to doing this, making my online presence, and it will be all worth it.
Absolutely, it will. And I hope that everyone has a lot of fun doing this, because once you realize that it's not scary, it's so much fun to decorate your website, put your pictures in, make it reflect your brand. I hope that people have a really good time doing this.
Well, this has certainly been very insightful, Lydia. We certainly appreciate you taking time out today to help people, even if it's just encouraging them and saying, hey, you can do this. I think that speaks volumes, certainly.
Well, thank you, Kristen. I'm sorry.
And if anyone has any further questions or comments, please make sure you post this. You'll be able to get to them, right, Lydia?
Yes, absolutely. And I'll be checking back on this. So there are ways to contact me, and I'll be happy to, provide some advice. And I hope that this has been really informative and helpful. Thank you so much for hosting us, Chrissy.
It certainly has been. I think I wish I was able to have this tutorial, way back when I was pulling my hair out, trying to figure out how do I do this for my business. This would have helped me out quite a bit if I just had this tutorial and this presentation to say, hey, you don't need to worry about scheduling out months or making sure that it's going to hurt your credibility of your business. Just do it.
Absolutely. Just do it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, everyone, today. And once again, if you have any further questions or comments for Lydia, just make sure you post this on the live stream. It will be posted on the YouTube. Also, it will be posted on Facebook and Domi Station's website. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.